Welcome back to Home Gym today. Today we're talking about barbell, specifically this giant lifting SSB. Is it right for your home gym? Do we have a new budget contender on our hands? Possibly. Let's dig into it and we'll find out.
Howdy ho, neighbor.
Hey guys, welcome back to today's video. Coach Carp with Carp's Gym, and we're here taking a look at a new budget contender in the SSB game. Now this is the giant lifting SSB. It has very similar specs to some of the other SSBs you may have seen on the market, such as the Rep Fitness SSB. You may notice there are a lot of similarities to this one. A very similar design and very similar specs. This is an item I haven't seen any reviews on, so I reached out to Giant Lifting and said, hey, I'd really like to do a review on this bar. Can we work something out? And they sent this for an honest review. I do also own the Rep SSB, and I wanted to put these head to head. I like to get a piece of equipment in, try it and test it for several weeks and months if possible, and then with my experiences, use those to make a solid, honest review and compare those with other bars and things I've used over time. Even talking to the owners at Giant Lifting, they said you may notice this has very similar specs to some of the other ones on the market. And I think mainly that they're talking about the Rep SSB, because Rep here recently in the past year or so has kind of developed the best SSB on the market. So how does this one stack up? Well, we're going to dig into it and find out. You may have already heard me talk about it in my other videos. I do Juggernaut AI, which is an online training program that keeps up with your sets, reps, and helps you manage fatigue. On that program, I use this and the Rep SSB during several blocks of my strength and hypertrophy blocks. And I'm going to show you some actual training footage and my reactions to how I felt with each of those. This SSB from Giant Lifting has several similarities to the Rep SSB, but there are some differences that I like to highlight. I'm not going to read off all the specs of both bars, but I did make a nice little infographic, and I'll put it up on the screen here and show you them side by side, how they stack up. And you'll see they're very similar. There are, inches or less than inches in some aspects. So the overall footprint, and it's going to be very similar, maybe an inch and a half on certain areas. There are some things I like about this bar that are different than the Rep bar and vice versa. So I'll talk about those here. Now on the overall footprint, they're both going to be about the same length. So this is a rogue rack. What you need to know on a rogue rack is it's 49 inches to 49 inches outside to outside, and both of the bars are about right at 49 inches. So if you have any kind of standard or specialty J cups, you should fit those fine. If you have a 47-inch rack like a Rep or some of the other companies that have the imported racks where it's less than 49 inches, or even a StoreNex, they make American racks that are less than 49 inches. But on a Rogue or Manticore series from Bells of Steel, that's going to be a 49. This bar should fit fine on any rack. If it fits on those biggest racks, it's definitely going to fit on your smaller racks. And then this one has a black Teflon coating. It's more of like a semi-gloss or a fat black powder coat. And this one does have groove sleeves, where the Rep has the smooth sleeves. Now the sleeves on this, they are grooved, but it's very fine. So even putting a plate on, you don't really have a bunch of extra noise. Now with iron plates, there will be louder, but that's going to be on any bar. But with using bumpers on this, there's very little noise. It almost feels like a smooth sleeve to the touch. But these are not smooth. It's a very fine groove. They're both going to have this one-piece padding yoke with a vinyl cover. I really like these. I would not buy a SSB that doesn't have a one-piece pad. I really like the one-piece pad and yoke inside the vinyl. The inner pad is that multicolor carpet style padding, and it's semi-firm. It feels good on the back and shoulders, and I think that actually helps with the stability. This bar and the Rep bar they're both balanced. I'll show you some clips and B-rolls. You can do everything from walking the dog, checking the mail, and just saying hi to your neighbors. But a couple of the major differences between this bar and the Rep SSB. Now they both have fixed sleeves, and these sleeves are just bolted on. This one has the bronze bushing, so it's really I think it's really just an aesthetic deal, but it does have the bronze bushing. The sleeves don't move or rotate, so it's just for looks. Where the Rep SSB is welded on right there on the end cap, but this one has the brass ring and it's bolted on. And then on the end cap, Giant has the laser cut logo, and theirs is straight. Where on the Rep one, it is cocked to the side, and you can't really change and move it because it's welded on. And some of the videos I've seen before, they have said that they thought it was to do the balance of the bar, but it's not. It's just at a weird angle. Where the Giant one, it's an independent snap ring. It's an independent snap ring and end cap. So if it's not straight when you receive it, you can turn it to make it straight, and I'll show you that too. That's a really minor cosmetic thing, but I actually prefer it. And their handles are a black zinc. Now these are a 32 millimeter black zinc with a really grippy volcano knurling. I actually really like this knurling on the handle shafts. It's very comfortable and more grippy than you'd think. I'll show you a close-up of it, but it's really fine. It's probably more like a 20 to 23 TPI. It's not sharp. It's not sharp or aggressive, but it is very, very grippy. And I actually like the look of the black handles. And these are 32 millimeter, or the Rep ones, I believe, are 38 millimeter. So the other ones are going to be a lot fatter. And on these, the heads are much shorter to where they insert into the bar. So if you wanted to replace the handles, as long as you had some that match the right screw pattern, you'd be able to buy separate handles on your own, make chain handles or some of the things I've seen guys do when they want to hack those, like the old Elite FTS SS yoke. So you can do that here. These handles are removable. They do use a blue Loctite, so they're pretty easy to get on and off with a little effort. So I actually prefer this smaller black knurled handle. The one thing that I would say that the Rep SSB has a little bit over this is the padding. The padding is on the Rep is that white padding. It's all one color. It's a little bit thicker, denser foam, and it does compress, but it comes back. Now over time, I don't know if this one. I mean, I've had it for several months, and I haven't noticed any kind of wear out. I think this softer pad is a little bit more comfortable over time, but the Rep seems to be a nicer made pad. So they both have a black vinyl. This one seems to be a little bit cheaper vinyl. How does this bar feel? Is it balanced? Yes. This and the Rep are almost the same. They're almost exactly the same with the few differences and tweaks. What I'll tell you is I do kind of have a rounded upper shoulder area, but the same vinyl that every other SSB is using, where the Rep SSB has a little bit more supple leather type vinyl, where this is it looks more like an imitation vinyl, but they're pretty much all the same on all the other bars. And that Rep SSB does have the all white denser foam pad. But in balance and using these, I didn't really notice any issues. Now some of the questions I got online, I'll try to answer you guys' questions. I said I would. This one sat on my shoulders better because the foam seemed to be a little bit more compressive and contoured. So once you get the really heavy weights, like I put 609 pounds on there and did a static hold just to see the weight. And even at any weight over 500-600 pounds, you're gonna feel it. You're gonna know it's on there. So that's just something to be aware of no matter what SSB you're using. And then how long you've had the pad, because over time they're all gonna wear down some. And it's definitely balanced. I'll show you. I walked around just with it on my back with plates on it, doing some stuff just to have fun, checking the mail, walking the dog, all those different things. You can do all those. If you can do those things without it falling off your back, being hands-free, then you can definitely do it on something like Hatfield squats. And I'll show you like that. One of the questions I got is, can I actually squat 6 plates on the SSB? No, I did have 5 plates on there doing Hatfield squats. And I'll show you a clip of that. And if you're saying, hey, that only looks like 4 plates, well, this bar is 69 pounds. So be aware of that. I think the Rep one is right. The Rep one is right around there, 65 or 68 pounds as well. So both these bars are close to 70 pounds. So that's one thing I love about my Juggernaut AI app. If you have a weird sized bar like this, you can go in and select and adjust the bar weight the plate weights, and it'll sit your base bar at 70 pounds, and then you can adjust to make sure you have the right weights on this. Because one thing I will know, one of my training notes is you get that, the normal plate math in your head, the 135, 225, 315, 405, 495, 585. You get those plate maths in your head, and you're like, oh, I need 135. You just start putting a 45. Well, on this bar, you can't do that because you're going to be, 29 pound overweight. So that's something to be aware of. And, one thing I like about it, also, when you buy this bar, remember, you're also buying, 70, 69, 70 pounds of weight instead of a 45-pound bar. So there's more steel involved in this as well. But yes, it's definitely balanced. I can't squat that much, but I was able to do Hatfields with over 500 on there, and I'll show you some sets of that. That's so I'm hands free. I'm just touching the handles here. I'm just touching the handles on the front of the rack. I'm not holding the bar. Even with that amount of weight, you'll see it adjust a little bit and move, but it doesn't flip or teeter because of the balance of the bar, which I really enjoy. And the bar being a little bit longer, the rep bar is longer as well, being longer than most of the other bars out there. That also helps with the balance, because the teeter point, the wider it is, the more counterbalance you have. So front to back, side to side, I found out it was very balanced. Big John from Garage Gym Life Media, he had several questions that kind of encompassed everybody's questions. I got multiple questions, and I'll throw those up here and show you guys some of those questions. But he asked, one was, is it balanced? How does it feel doing things like JM press, Hatfield squats, good mornings, and those type of things? I found it works out fine for all those. You can even do front squats with it if you just turn the bar around and push it on your shoulders. I don't like that one as much as I do something like the Mars bar. The Mars bar, I think, is one of the best ever you can have for doing that. And I've owned several of these bars. The Giant bar and the Rep bar, they're very similar. The Mars bar, the Bells of Steel SS3, that's on sale right now online, but I honestly wouldn't look at it because it's a short bar and the balance is off. I kind of felt like that pad was too wide. The winner in the clubhouse has always been the Elite FTS SS Yoke. I don't have that one. I've never had it, but I've used it at other gyms. And one thing I never liked about that one, its balance and the camera and everything was fine, but it has that clear powder coat, which I do not like at all. And it has the axle style sleeves. So you have to have the smaller sleeves. These new SSBs have the regular Olympic collars. So putting plates on and off, they're going to be standard. You can use standard clips. So you shouldn't have any issues on this or any of the newer SSBs. Like the Titan Fitness one either. It's kind of a budget one, but it's around $300. And I think this one, at regular price, it's $329, which is right about the same as the Rep SSB. But I do have a discount code with Giant Lifting. So code CARP will get you 5% all the time at Giant Lifting. So if they're currently running a sale, which they are, you can get this bar for $296 with that sale they're currently offering. Or you can use my 5% code to stack it. I think it takes it down to about $282. So at $282, it's cheaper than Titan. It's cheaper than Rep. Very similar specs. I would highly recommend this one. Giant is a smaller company. A lot of people are going to be taking note of them because this is another awesome specialty bar they've come out with. The Northland Trap Bar is another one of their bars that they've come out with. I'm very high on that bar. And this is another one. I think a lot of people, they are a smaller company on the West Coast, but I think a lot of people nationally are really going to start taking a look at Giant Lifting because this and their trap bar and even their budget plates are really awesome. And these are some things that are going to start shipping nationally when people start finding out about them. As far as storage was another question I got asked. You can use this. I use the Darko Anchor, and it's awesome. Any of these SSBs, you can store up and flip them over, and they stand up right up here in the Darko Anchor. Now, on some of these, on a 49-inch rack, a rogue rack, what I would recommend is turning them inside. I've noticed that more specialty bars will fit up there. I've used my multi-grip bar, this bar, even my giant trap bar. It's rackable, so you can put it above the rack too. Not all trap bars are rackable, but it is rackable as well, so it will store up in the anchor. If you have horizontal gun rack storage, I like to take an SSB and hang it on the bottom and let the handles hang down, or you can put it to the very top, on the top or the bottom, the top or the very bottom of a gun rack. And then if you have a plate storage post or like a 9-bar holder, these are pretty easy to store upright. You can angle the handles where they're not running into the other bars, or something like this. The handles are removable, so if you wanted them to save space, you could unscrew the handles, and it'd be a little bit easier to store in some of these methods. I use mine every week, if not multiple times a week, for various movements. So I just normally store it up in the Darko anchor. It's easy to get up and down. It's not a big issue. I want to forget other movements. I did get asked about JM press. Yeah, it works awesome with JM press. It's not a movement that I normally do, but you just take the handles off. And I see why some of the big powerlifter guys like it, because you can really load up the weight. I was able to get a couple plates on there and do it, where on something like skull crushers or LTEs or lying tricep extensions, I can't really get that much weight on there. But on something like a JM press, it feels very similar to a close grip bench press, and you can really load up the weight. And then something about that thicker diameter on the SSB just feels good when you're doing that movement and getting a real huge tricep pump. Good mornings, front squats, just regular SSBs. I thought it performed awesome, so I'd highly recommend it. If you guys have any other questions that I forgot to mention, drop them down in the comments. I hope this is the best review of the Giant SSB. Maybe they'll never need to make another one. Hopefully this answered all your questions. If you guys would like to support me or Giant Lifting, I'm going to leave all the affiliate links down in the description. This bar is on sale right now, so if you're looking for SSB, I think it's the best value on the market. And don't forget to use code CARP at giantlifting.com, because that stacks on any discount that they are currently offering. But even at the regular price, it's $329. With my discount, it's still going to come in cheaper than the Rep SSB. So I would definitely take a look at it. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you're having a good holiday season. Thanks for watching, and go lift your SSB, baby. Look at that knurling. Look at that knurling. Ooh, yeah. Baby. Hey, I just want to give a shout out to my man Jack Brimhall over at Brimhall Barbell. I was doing some warm-ups this week, and I put on his barbell review video, just going over some of the specialty bars and barbells that he owns, or what he called his top 10 barbells. So I really like that. He's making some good content over there, and he has a sweet home gym. So go check him out and give him a follow. Testing 1, 2, 3, baby. Welcome back to the home gym today. Today we're talking about barbells, mainly this Giant SSB.